This is why I'm extremely untrusting of this unity government being developed between Lapid and Bennett. Folks, as you know, social media censorship is growing. The best way to support our video work for Israel is to subscribe to our video newsletter on pulseofisrael.com and to share our videos. If you are already a subscriber, then thank you. Number one, it's not a unity government. The left is the champion of hijacking language to make it seem as if they are so moral, yet their intentions are anything but. Number two, around the time of the 2005 Gaza expulsion, Yair Lapid wrote a column saying that the destruction of 21 Jewish communities in Gaza and the expulsion of 10,000 Jews from their homes in Gaza was not about making peace with the Arabs, but about punishing the religious settler movement, teaching them a lesson, and returning them to their natural position in society. Yair Lapid has yet to apologize for that remark 15 years later. It basically means that the sole purpose of the Gaza expulsion was to punish the national religious public in Israel, even though it was Yitzhak Rabin and a labor government that established the Jewish communities in the Gaza Strip, and plenty of non-religious Jews lived there as well. Hence, I don't trust Lapid's stance on unity either if he has yet to apologize for such a damaging comment. Number three, returning to our current political situation, Naftali Bennett might think he will achieve a number of right-wing agenda items by joining Lapid and the anti-Zionist Meretz Party that wants IDF soldiers to be prosecuted at The Hague, and the Muslim Brotherhood Ram Party. And Bennett might think that he can achieve some of those right-wing agenda items, but he is ignoring the elephant in the room. The ideological left across the world are much more powerful and dangerous in power than the ideological right. Here in Israel, the anti-Israel ideological left has much more funding from European countries, from the European Union, from American organizations like the Ford Foundation, anti-Semitic organizations, Jewish organizations like the New Israel Fund on the left, and their network of other anti-Israel organizations. Another thing, the ideological left have tons of think tanks, foundations, and years of planning to execute their strategies. That's something the ideological right in Israel does not have because of the differential amount of funding that I spoke about above. And third, the media and the progressive court system in Israel won't stop the left as they stop all the policies and laws of the ideological right. So when the right is in power, it takes years to make any policy changes because they have to overcome years of court cases and a media. The left won't have those problems. Their policy changes will be immediate and damaging. In essence, the progressive anti-Jewish agenda of the ideological left will take advantage of being in power to do as much damage as they can, including giving more power to the reform and conservative movements in Israel. Now, during a time when reform and conservative Jewry in America is dying, because the progressive values that their leaders are spreading to the young generation of American Jews are leading them to become anti-Israel and them cutting themselves off from their authentic Jewish identity. And at this time, Bennett and Lapid and their government, instead of bringing the Jewish pride of Israel to help strengthen American Jewry, they will be bringing the destructive progressivism of U.S. reform and conservative Jewry to Israel. Not only will that continue to weaken American Jewry and not help it, but it will further weaken certain sectors of Israeli Jewry as well. I get it. I know that Lapid and Bennett and Lieberman and even a lot of religious people in Israel, they want to break the political monopoly of the ultra-Orthodox in Israel. However, partnering with the progressive left agenda of the New Israel Fund to weaken the Jewish character of the State of Israel will just switch one bad situation with another, even worse situation. Again, I believe we will overcome whatever damage this Bennett-Lapid government brings upon us if it does happen. It just will be damaging and painful before we are able to fix it. We overcame the disastrous Rabin government, Barak government, and Sharon governments that all inflicted tremendous damage on Israel, and we are still paying for those damages today. As I said earlier, This is understanding that Bennett and Saar might be successful in implementing some right-wing policy agenda items that Netanyahu himself has failed at implementing over the years as prime minister. But the main question, though, is at what price will they be paying with the Jewish character of the State of Israel to accomplish those agenda items?
Pulse of Israel, frontline videos from the Holy Land. Support our work by donating today.